What's up, everybody? Happy Saturday morning. The old east wind's back again today. She was pretty gnarly this morning, early, right before daylight, and then died right down. And now it's picked back up a little bit. It's 9:15. I've had one bite, but I got off the skunk from yesterday, and it was a good bite. It was a good bite. I just made up a new club. It's called the 44 Club. 4-pound test, 4+ pound smallmouth. And so right now for the Awakening Angler 44 Club, and 44 is my lucky number. 44 was my football number in high school. 44 is a famous number in Syracuse sports football history. 44, 24, 17, my three lucky numbers. So the 44 Club now exists. I got it on video. So now, and that was a 4-inch swim bait as well. So I guess that's the 444 Club, but it was cool. It was really cool. I like light line. You know, as a steelhead fisherman all my life, it's amazing how big a fish I've landed on 4-pound test line. And it's like a cobweb, you know, especially when you deal with. So a lot of your freshwater fishing applications aren't necessarily super finesse based, and swim baits don't have to be either. My buddy Todd was out here with me the other day, and he was throwing a swim bait like I have 1,000 times on braid with a short leader and a snap, you know, right at the jig head. So you don't have to go super light and finesse, but it's fun. I have a 7-foot, and it's an old Cabela's Master Walleye Series rod, 7-foot light action. It's even a 2-piece. I bought it years ago when I was on a business trip to Western Ohio, and there was a Cabela's store I found out right across the Michigan border from where I was in Ohio. And I remember bringing it back on the plane one year before opening day of walleye season here, when I was going fishing with, in those days, I would have been with my buddy Woody and Ryan. It's a great rod. I love the action of it, and it's a real full bend, and it's an ultralight really by today's standards, but it protects that 4-pound test line. And what I mean by that is it's a shock absorber to it, and that shock absorption is what's needed when you have that light of line. Like I don't know if I could fish like this. Is my 7.6, my 763 XF Douglas X Matrix. Now I have 10-pound on this throwing a swim bait, and by a lot of standards, that's even pretty lightweight. And I'm running straight fluorocarbon, castable fluorocarbon, straight 10-pound, all the way to my swim bait. And I'm tying the swim bait directly at the jig head. I'm not putting a snap on. I'm doing it direct. So this is a lightweight setup. In 2 seconds, I'm going to get the other one and show you after this cast. It's a lot of fun. And it's not just for smallmouth. I have not caught a walleye today on a swim bait, but you will repeatedly, as many of them some days as you want, as many of them as on anything else, you know, in your whole arsenal. You know, and then when you're ultralight fishing, you know, it's this, you know, barbecue swim baits. You fish them low and slow, just like you cook barbecue, low and slow. I'm gonna grab that other one here quick. So this was the big bass killer this morning. So it's a 4-inch swing impact in that chartreuse color that I just bought last night at Dick's. Also, it's a VMC. It's it's a VMC screw lock jig head. So you don't have to put any super glue on this, and it holds these swim baits excellent. It really does. It was a pain this first time to thread it on and figure out where to bring the hook point through before you had to screw it on. It was a little wonky. It took me 3 tries and a few swear words, but I got it. And this is the 4-pound test line. So I don't even know if this thing still has a sticker on it, just for what it is. So this is 4 to 10 pound line weight, 8 to 5/8 ounce, 702. It doesn't say what weight it is, but I mean, you've seen this rod in action before, and it's a full light bend. And that's a 1/4 ounce VMC head. With this light line, light rod, and even a 1/4 ounce jig head right there is a touch heavy. For this, you really should be more in the 3/16 to an 1/8 range. But with this 1/4 ounce, I can chuck this thing a mile. And this time of year, water's getting colder, it's getting clearer. You want that, especially for smallmouth, you want that bait as far away from your boat and any commotion and electronics disturbance and all that fun stuff. You want it out there away, as far away as you can get it. And which is why last week I was messing around with a noodle rod, because, so this is a 7-footer, that X Matrix is a 7.5. Now that X Matrix, today's the first day with 10-pound mono, or 10-pound fluorocarbon on it. And it casts great, and so does this one. I mean, I don't know exactly how far that is, but it chucks it pretty good. But that noodle rod chucked it into the next county. I mean, and you want to make sure with light line, can you see this? You want to make sure that your spool is as full as you can get it without it flopping over the edge, because there's no resistance on that lip when that line's coming off, and you're going to get, let's say, again, if you try to do the same thing and your spool is down 1/4 of an inch when it's full, you're not going to cast half as far as what I just did. Making sure that your reel, the spool on your reel is properly, that was weeds, everybody relax. I got all jacked up there for a second. I'm all jacked up on Mountain Dew, Chip. I'm gonna scissor kick you upside the head. Yeah, we got all excited right there. Let's everybody relax. Go back to having your coffee. Making sure that reel has absolutely as much line as it can possibly have on it, no matter what it is going to make sure that you maximize your cast no matter what you're doing. And you got to walk that fine line between it's really full and it's over full, and then you're going to see it'll come right off the end of the spool, and then you got a mess. And when I put this on last night, I still did it in a bucket of water, but it didn't lay right. So this morning on my way out, I opened the bail and let every inch of line on the reel come out as I was driving the boat, and it was stretched out behind me. And then I put the boat in neutral and I reeled it all back in. So all that twist and memory came out of that line, and now you couldn't ask for, it's just perfectly straight, lays beautiful. So that's your morning swim bait. And again, for all the walleye guys out there, soft plastic swim baits catch walleyes as much as they catch bass. It is unbelievable. And if you told me, and everybody knows, especially you guys know how much I love to fish a blade, and I'd put a blade against anything, but I would take a Kitech soft plastic swim bait over a blade. If you said, Matt, you have one lure to go out and you've got to catch something to eat or you're going to starve to death, I'm taking something that looks just like a minnow. And that you can run it fast, slow, high, low. You can do anything you want with these, not just Kitech, these soft plastic swim baits. And there's a lot of companies that make a lot of great ones. I'm just partial to Kitech. They catch fish. They catch fish, period. And it's really as simple as you want to make it. Cast it as far as you possibly can. count it down depending on how deep you want it. From a couple feet down, going through suspended bait, or all the way on the bottom first, and then let it come up off a foot or two, and that's where you're in that zone of Walter and Smalley. You know, you got Wallmouth down there, just digging around, looking. Hey, what are you? What are you? You're something that's. That must be a weed. I have not felt them pull back. Oh, it's a jumper. Nope. See? Oh God, that could not have been better right there. And he doesn't feel like a giant, but it just feels like you've got. Oh, look at it. No, he's getting bigger as we get close. What is it? Doesn't look like a small one. Let's see. This time of year in this colder water, it is a small. Oh! He's not a giant. But just proves my point. Just proves my point. And look at. As they're swimming along, this thing's in front of them, and they flare their gills and go like that, and that little bait just goes, it's swimming, it goes like that, and it's in his mouth. And they can be swimming with you too. They can swim right with you, those little suckers. And so as soon as you stop feeling what you've been feeling the whole time, and you know what? That means you got to pay attention. That means you got to pay attention. You got to be present. You know, you got to be present in the now, and you're feeling what's coming back up to you. And you feel that little tail out there, and all of a sudden it stops. I said it. Oh, yeah, that one feels like weeds, because usually when you come all the way tight to them and sweep set them, you'll feel that whoom, 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 sometimes more than others. That one I was halfway in before he gave me the first head shake that I noticed. Now, granted, he was 13, 14 inches as opposed to 4 to 5 pounds. But normally you would have seen him before that. But it feels like it's just gone, or it got a clump of weeds on it or something. Because you're reeling along, all of a sudden your tip goes like that. And then you keep reeling right into him. And so that's because it's already down in there. It's as down in there as it's going to be. Because he went like this, and he sucked that thing right in, you know. That was awesome. That was awesome. Have a great day. I got something exciting for you this afternoon, but I'm not telling you yet. Thanks for everything. Thanks for watching. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for supporting us. Love you guys. Have a great Saturday. Keep her tip up.